seen that famous image of La Mer Beach and behind it is the downtown skyline on a clear view? That's from that area, by the way. So you see,
that's a killer view.
exactly. Townhouses, because the townhouses, by the way, in total, it's just below 150 townhouses in total. So it's not a lot.
So extremely limited.
Extremely limited. And they are developing a new thing called J1 Beach. Now, J1 Beach will be super luxurious. And
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. I'm with Omar, as always. And today we're going to be speaking about La Mer. So, Omar, introduce us. What is La Mer? Who developed it? And just information, basically.
First of all, I want to say congratulations on the fade. last episode, we had this comment on with one of my friends is say, "Bro, why is your the podcast? Why is your podcast guest not with a clean fade or something?" But anyway,
Got bullied into a haircut, basically.
no judgment.
I got bullied into a haircut.
No, but that's a fresh fade. Anyway, so speaking about La Mer, so La Mer is like 13.5 million square foot of land, not land, of master community basically. So it's developed by Miras. Still not fully handed over, by the way, but it launched back in end of, as far as I remember, because this is like on top of my mind, end of 2014. And construction began for it in like quarter 2, I think, or quarter 1 of 2015. So it's fairly
Mature.
It's mature, yeah, but not all of it is handed over. Now, what La Mer consists of, first of all, is La Mer North and South. So on the right is North, on the left is South. Now, on the South, they sold it as plots. Mira sold it as plots, big plots, like 8,000 square foot plus, all the way up to 23,000 square foot. Now, obviously, the bigger plot will be the frontline plots on the water. Second and third line will be a bit smaller plots. And La Mer North consisted of townhouses, big size townhouses, by the way, and apartment buildings. Like 24 apartment buildings, 5 clusters. And Sur La Mer consists of 3. Sur La Mer is the townhouses, by the way. They're called Sur La Mer. 3, 4, and 5 bedroom townhouses. Now, and in the apartments is 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom apartments, and 4 is considered also apartments and penthouses. So there's quite big size penthouses over there, and very limited. I think like maybe 4 or 5 penthouses here and there. By the way, the 4 buildings, just to read it off because I keep forgetting their names. So La Côte, La Rive, Le Ciel, La Voile, and Le Pont. I cheated it off of the screen, by the way. That's it.
The Egyptian French genes kicking in.
That's the only thing I'm cheating right now outside. But other than that, I'll be talking off the top of my mind. So, what do we want to start out with? So, which one are you curious about to start out with? So, the plots are, let's say, the plots is not much to speak about on that La Mer South because it's very slow.
Yeah.
La Mer North is where
Things kick in. Yeah, so why don't we start with North?
Okay, so in North, first it was the Sur La Mer townhouses. It's handed over. Everyone's living in it, either rent or own.
Sizes?
Yeah, I mean the 3 beds was around 3,800 square foot plus built up. 4 beds was around 4,800 square foot. Down the 5 beds, which are super limited also in this community, is 6,800 to 6,900 square foot plus. That's a lot for a townhouse, by the way. I mean, because it is a G plus 2 plus roof.
Oh,
so they've built it vertically. Now, obviously, now you get the idea why would someone build vertically. The townhouses make it a bit taller. It's because of the scarcity of the plot. So there's so much they can do over here. Like I mentioned before also, it's like at the end of the day, it's price per square foot. So it's like I cannot charge because Miras is, I mean, they're looking at it for like profit margin. I would want to make the most profit out of this land, and this is not a big land. There's so much I can do with it. Townhouses, because the townhouses, by the way, in total it's just below 150 townhouses in total, so it's not a lot. Like other communities would have 2,000, 3,000 townhouses. This is only like 150, less than 150.
So extremely limited.
Extremely limited. And by the way, it also has semi-detached villas. The 5 beds are semi-detached, and some of 4 beds, by the way. So it's townhouse / semi-detached twin villa, not independent villas. The 5 beds all come semi-detached, and it's only frontline row. So it's this one. All of them facing the water.
On the water.
Yes, exactly. And that's it. That line. Then there is the 3 and the 4 beds. 3 all are townhouses. They're middle units. And 4 beds, there are 2 types. There's corners on a complex of 4 townhouses, and there's semi-detached 4-bedroom twin villas. So 2 types for the 4 bedrooms.
Do the semi-detached go for more, even though it's the same square footage?
Obviously, they go for more. I'll tell you why they go for more. Because the semi-detached one, they have put it front line on the water for the 4 beds.
Okay.
So you will see there will be 4 beds a bit cheaper than another 4 bed is because of that difference. That's front line, that's not front line. And there are some, by the way, 3 beds that is on the water also on front line. So there's a difference also in the price. Like I think even 3 to 4 million difference.
Oh.
If a 3 beds is selling for 9 million, I'll get into the prices a bit. If a 3 bed sold for 9 million, that's a second or third second row on the park basically, because there's a park in like a green belt, not a park, like a green belt. But the 3 beds that's on the water is like, I think there is one transaction I saw it sold for 13 or 12.5 million. So you see the difference. There's like 3.5 million difference just because of being front row, and it's the same square footage, by the way. Now the price per square foot is higher because it's overlooking the water. Exactly, it's front line. Now there's no beach access on those townhouses. They're all on rocks, so the view is amazing, but there's no beach access. Now after Sur La Mer are the apartments. So they are at this. It's a weird shape, by the way, but it's also smart because they've used that middle section for the docks, for the yachts, basically. So the berths, and there's a point for that. I'll get into that because usually, for these type of, I mean, there would be yacht owners living here also, but most of these people might be also parking their yachts from Jumeirah Bay Island, because Jumeirah Bay Island also does not have a lot of docks or berths for the yachts. Some of them might park it over here, and this will open later throughout the year. It's still not open for now, by the way.
Oh, the berths?
For the yachts to park up their boats over there. They've mentioned, I think, around October or November should be open. Now, I mean, I'm not sure which one. In the middle section, the blue and the red logo ones and La Rive also at the end over there are handed over. What's not handed over is Le Ciel. Le Ciel is the last one that will hand over. Le Ciel is in that corner, and it has the best views, by the way, because one, you're looking at the water, the yachts, and you're looking also on the row behind, which is the downtown skyline. So you have a beautiful view. And by the way, when you're looking, like let's say these apartments looking towards this side, and it's mostly the bigger apartments, like the 3 beds or the penthouses, they're looking at the La Mer beach. You've seen that famous image of La Mer beach, and behind it is the downtown skyline on a clear view. That's from that area, by the way. So you see,
that's a killer view.
Exactly. So the penthouses over there will shoot up in price, but that building is not handed over yet. It might need. I mean, the anticipated date was this year to hand over, but it's delayed by kind of a lot. It's like, I think it's 20% in progress.
Oh.
So I might say it might need a year and a half to hand over.
Minimum.
Minimum. But I mean, still, I mean, obviously, owners that bought it in Luciel will not be happy about it. But at the end of the day, they have bought this for a good price. Luciel, I mean, they will double up, more than double up in price.
Do you
once
know
it's
OP?
handed over. Okay, so the OP, let's say price per square foot, because I don't want to be talking about this a lot. It started off with 1,300 dirhams per square foot and above, because there's 1, 2, and 3, 4 bedrooms. Now, obviously, the more you go up, the price per square foot will increase a bit, because you can't say the same price per square foot for a penthouse as a 1-bedroom apartment. But the start of this master plan for the apartments started around with like 1,300 dirham per square foot, and each phase kept increasing up until 2,000. Luciel, I think, was the last phase to launch, and they've launched for the highest price, 1,950 or 2,000 dirham per square foot.
Yeah.
Fair enough to them, because it's the best view one. I would expect it easily to go up to 4,000, by the way, for the apartments. Now, for the penthouse, it can go 6,000 dirhams per square foot plus, because of that view. You have an panoramic view, by the way, of that downtown skyline, the La Mer beach, and the yachts, because you're circulating the full area.
Yeah.
Because the penthouse is a big size, like I think 4,000 square foot plus. And the sizes are very decent, by the way. So the 1-bedrooms are around 800 square foot on average, plus minus, because there are some layouts that are
Smaller.
a bit bigger.
Oh.
So you could say 820, 850 square foot. There is the 2 beds, 1,250 to 1,400. There is the 3 beds, 1,750 to 2,400 square foot. And 4 beds, 3,000 square foot plus. Sizes are good in this project. They're all short story buildings. 6, 8 floors. So they're not like skyscrapers. And by the way, if you take a look at the end is a beach. Now that's off for construction. Recently I've heard that they've opened it for beach access, but they will build apparently a resort over there, a fancy hotel, whatever it is. I mean, there are rumors saying nothing is confirmed 100%.
Address?
Nah, no, because that's on Miras plot now. I think they will give it to a high end. It could be a Ritz, could be I don't know, something that's super high end. Because there were talks, people saying it could be a 7-star resort hotel, which is, I mean, very rare. I mean, what's the only 7-star? I think Burj Al Arab.
Yeah. That's the only one.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing else,
so yeah, I mean, I don't see any construction happening over there. Maybe they haven't allocated the hotel yet because they really need to think this through. Because by the way, if once that hotel is done, prices over here will shoot up. Anything commercial that's being done around the area, if it's super special, the properties around, the residential properties around, just shoot up in price. Because now everyone is looking at those residential properties. You have more eyes, so more demand, and the supply is low in here.
Yeah.
Supply is super low in here.
I'd assume less than 1,000 units, most likely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, because I mean, the group of buildings is like, let's say La Cote is around 100, I think 150 to 180 apartments, all of La Cote. So La Cote, I think, is like 4 or 5 buildings.
Oh.
La Rive is 3 buildings. That's all in total 180, around 150 to 180. So it's between that range. And it's 5 clusters. So let's say it's 180 each. Into 5, that's less than 1,000 apartments. That's low inventory compared to other areas, for example. I would consider this somewhat similar to the inventory in Blue Waters. That's why Blue Waters jumped up in price because the supply is low compared to the demand. Demand was super high in Blue Waters at some point, also super high when prices just went off the roof in like a matter of 2-3 months because of the Russian
influx.
Yeah, the Russian influx also because since the war, a lot of investors from Russia came in, and for whatever reason also, they were so interested in Blue Waters. So prices just went in such a short period.
Yeah.
That was but I'll speak on Blue Waters anyway in another episode. But yeah, even some of those Russian investors came in here in La Mer. I think they like the idea of low inventory type of communities on the water.
Yeah.
They also went to Palm Jumeirah, but Palm Jumeirah is a bit higher inventory than La Mer and Blue Waters. But they were mostly like in La Mer and Blue Waters.
Higher ticket too in Palm Jumeirah. The entry level.
No, I mean Shoreline. I mean, apartments wise, Shoreline is cheaper than both of those. But Shoreline it's kind of old. The style of it is not
not the best.
Not the best, and
also,
it's not so waterfront. I mean, some of the apartments obviously have water views, but for whatever reason, lower inventory always wins at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, Shoreline buildings a lot. I don't know the exact number, but anyway, we'll be doing a episode on Palm Jumeirah later. But Palm Jumeirah, there's a lot to talk about it anyway. Now, what is special that I want to speak about is the commercial area in La Mer. The story about it is crazy. So there is a company called Mirex Investments that's working closely with, I think, the governmental companies, which is like Nakhil, Dubai Holding, Dubai Properties. I think, Dubai Holding as a general, not Nakhil, because they were managing this. La Mer, the commercials in there, they are managing, they are still, they are managing City Walk commercials, and they are managing the Walk JBR. So all in all, that's Dubai Holding Group, because it's Miras, and Dubai Properties over there, the commercial. Yeah. So Mirex was the one, MEREX Investments. They're the ones handling the commercials over there. They're the ones who bring up the ideas, what to do, what commercials to bring, what cafes, restaurants to bring to the area. Now, here was an issue. The commercial over here was an issue. Now, besides the 2.5 or 2 kilometers beach, all of this was around 130 shops, plus that Laguna Water Park.
Okay.
Laguna Water Park was it called? Yeah. Now, by the way, over the last year and a half or 2 years, they've stopped all the commercials, and they are still to this day, I think, demolished, or they've done with the demolish.
The full thing.
Yeah. And they are developing a new thing called J1 Beach. Now, J1 Beach will be super luxurious. And you know why did they demolish? Now, people are curious, why did they demolish La Mer? It's because they didn't have a lot of footwork. And they didn't have a lot of people interested. For what they have built, They didn't find a lot of
Public interest. You
public
mean?
interest. There is not a lot of transactions, not a lot of people visiting the area as much as, let's say, the walk JBR. The walk JBR at first it was slow because they've done the walk a long time ago, but later on, because it's a touristical area also.
Yeah.
And by time tourists increased in that area, like the first thing that they come is Marina JBR. When tourists come, they go to Marina JBR. So that area is heavily populated, it's densely populated. So they found success in that eventually. City Walk also to a certain extent, they kind of Mirex kind of failed with getting the population, and then later on, I think the concept changed because at first I remember when City Walk was ready, it was mostly fashion.
Yeah. I also remember that as mainly
Yeah.
fashion and retails and shops.
Yes. Then they and there wasn't a lot of people in it. I remember when I went to City Walk, it was empty. Then later
Yeah.
on, City Walk became famous, and I've heard recently that it got famous after COVID. Maybe because of restaurants, bars. There is other other commercials that got in there too. Was the university and then this and that.
CUD.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've gotten a lot of people getting into that area.
It's become like a hotspot kind of instead of just a
Yes.
fashion place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in La Mer, they didn't find that success. It failed miserably. Because I remember even when every time I used to go to La Mer, it was empty. Whether it's winter or summer, it was
Yeah.
empty.
Blue Waters is way more visited if you just look at it comparing to La Mer.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't compare because here the commercials are a lot. 130 shops. That's a lot, by the way, for
Yeah.
such a small area.
Dense area.
Yeah, but I think the issue was the commercials that they had over there was useless. People are not weren't interested in those commercials. Like, why would you have a Starbucks? Why would you have Ansari Exchange? I remember there was an Ansari Exchange over there. Why would someone have an Ansari Exchange? Come on, man. It's like a touristical area. You need to provide like nice restaurants, nice cafes that are not found elsewhere. That's why I would want to go to La Mer, or else why would I go La Mer for a Starbucks? There's Starbucks all over Dubai.
Yeah.
Why would I go to La Mer for this weird restaurant no one knows about much? Now, they've demolished that. They've learned from their mistakes, and obviously it cost a lot.
Yeah.
So they have built some. They are building, and I think it should be almost handed over by the end of this year. Where like people, I think it should be ready by the end of this year. J1 Beach, there will be around 13 luxurious, super luxurious restaurants / cafe / bars. So kind of I wouldn't say DIFC because it's like the DIFC chicness, prestiginess on a beach.
Maybe similar to the Palm, the entrance of the Palm with all those fancy restaurants? Or
Nah.
doesn't compare?
No, this will be unique. This will be like, and this will also have the biggest beach club in all of the world. That's what I heard. So very exclusive. You can imagine from 130 shops to just 13 places. Now you can imagine how big those places will be. To be
Yeah.
big, there will be a lot of space around, but super expensive, like food and bar and it will be
Yeah.
like rich. The area will be rich, and that's what's needed on a beachfront. And it's like it is obviously it's so obvious, but at the same time it's like, why didn't they think of this earlier? Maybe they were just testing out, because at the end of the day, maybe it's like you need to survey, you need to find out what people might be interested in. At first, maybe the concept of it was wrong, but I am sure 1000% after it's done, super success. They will find super success. They'll find a lot of success with those 13 because they're even big. I've heard some of the names like Gaia and the IFC.
Oh.
There will be. I've heard Zuma, but I don't think so because on the list I've seen, I remember Zuma wasn't involved. So imagine it's like Michelin-star restaurants and stuff like that from those 13. So and there is a lot of fusion restaurants. I think there is one Lebanese, Armenian. There one
Lebanese, Armenian.
So it's super
That's
exotic.
odd. Yeah.
Not odd, but super exotic type of stuff like you wouldn't find elsewhere. That's why I would
Yeah.
go La Mer.
Hmm?
That's why I would want to go La Mer.
Yeah, you're taking me
'Cause-
Zuma, no? Once it opens.
Oh my god. But the point is, I would want to go to that place because of
These particular restaurants that bring you in.
Yes,
Then you
exactly.
go visit the other places.
Exactly. And people also want to get involved in something that's ultra luxurious. Like you'd find normal people going to Bulgari Island.
Just because.
Just because, I'm here in Namos on Instagram. So people will be doing the same thing over here, and obviously they'll transact. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm already 1000% sure it will find a lot of way more success than what it used to be. So then La Mer South, and by the way, this thing will also bring a lot of interest in La Mer, and also to shoot up in prices.
Yeah.
I feel like it will be almost the same concept as the chicness and prestiginess of the cafes, restaurants, and bars on a waterfront. like in Jumeirah Bay Island. So it's that style, but on a kind of a bigger scale. Because in Jumeirah Bay Island, it's like what, 3, 4 restaurant, cafes slash bars over there. Over here, there will be 13 and major ones,
But
big ones.
Jumeirah Bay Island is also smaller, so it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah.
it will also grab that crowd over there to here. So I feel like there will be a lot of interest. Then there is La Mer South, which is like, I wouldn't say messy, but it is kind of unorganized to a certain extent. Because when they sold these plots, Miras sold these plots long time ago, it was they didn't put a time limit. They didn't put a deadline. So till now, it's like maybe 20% built on
Oh.
the villas.
Yeah.
So no one has a time limit. I'll take a plot and sleep on it.
yeah.
So it will make it not a developed area. So that can ruin the. But even though the price per square foot increased by a lot, because also there is not a lot of people selling. No one wants to sell over there. So even if you look into the last 6 months transactions, only 2 plots that sold, that resold actually.
Yeah.
So people are sleeping on it till the area gets developed, and then they sell for a ridiculous price. I think the highest one that got sold was for 4,300 dirhams per square foot, but I think that was on Shell and Core, could be,
On the
'Cause-
water?
or maybe it could be on the water. I didn't check where was the plot exactly, but it could be on the water too.
Yeah.
It was a big plot also. But other than that, I would say right now the current market price is between 2,000 to 2,500 dirhams per square foot. I mean, and after that, as J1 is handed over and it's ready,
That's gonna shoot.
Yes,
Tremendously.
yeah,
Everything's
I
gonna
would-
shoot.
I would say for those plots, 4,000, 5,000 dirhams per square foot plus.
Minimum.
Yeah, and then the front row could be even because Jumeirah Bay Island, but Jumeirah Bay Island is special because it's Bulgari Island. It's branded by Bulgari.
Yeah.
However, La Mer South, I would say it will be a bit, I wouldn't say the word cheaper, but a bit affordable to a certain extent to those people
Yeah.
than Jumeirah Bay Island.
Just
So-
because it doesn't have the Bulgari name, I think.
Yes, so
That's the only key
exactly
factor.
because there are plots that are like I think in Jumeirah Bay Island I think crossed 10,000 dirhams per square foot, and here it could be like max the front line could go up to maybe 6,000-7,000 dirhams per square foot. So I mean, yeah, let's see. I mean, I'm really looking forward to what this area turns out to be. It's like you could say it's 70% handed over, with some of the buildings still left to go, and then the plots with people to build on.
Yeah.
But I'm so looking forward to this J1 beach. I really want to see how it turns out to be because it will be giving that prestigeness of the DIFC, but on a waterfront, like Jumeirah Bay Island on a bigger scale, kind of.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean that's the
That's
story about
La Mer.
La Mer. I mean, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to you taking me J1 Beach. Yeah.
On my bill.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a good one.